At the turn of the 20th century, Tulsa, Oklahoma, had the richest per capita wealth of any place on Earth. It was dubbed the oil capital of the world, the Magic City, and the City of Dreams. Among those who traveled to Tulsa was a young teacher named Mary Parrish.
I came to Tulsa from Rochester, New York in 1918. I had heard of the town since girlhood and the many opportunities to make money. But I came because of the wonderful cooperation I observed among our people, especially among our businessmen and women. Every face seemed to wear a smile. After spending years of struggling and sacrifice, people had begun to look upon Tulsa as the Negro metropolis of the Southwest. Going north to Archer Street for 2 or more blocks, one could see nothing but Negro businesses. Going east, you would behold Greenwood Avenue, the Negroes' Wall Street. There were homes of beauty and splendor, and the schools and churches were well attended. It was a city within a city, and some malicious newspapers took pride in referring to it as Little Africa.
Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1906, a man named O.W. Gurley bought some acres in the sticks. 40 acres for the Vicks, laid the mortar, laid the bricks, and in time what became led to extraordinary bliss. J.B. Stafford joined the mix without showing no hesitation. Together they built up Greenwood while facing the segregation. Not only did they thrive, but they flourished, dealing with them Jim Crow laws, feeling alive, not discouraged. Racist whites won't let them in, and so they built their own shit. 600 businesses in Greenwood, and they all owned it. Movie theaters, dentist office, schools for black enrollment. Oil boom in Oklahoma left their pockets swollen. More moved to Greenwood, aka Black Wall Street. Whites called it Little Africa cause they were salty. Jealousy and envy in the end was proving costly. No way to make amends, no way to bend the rules to law. See, Wall Street was bubbling, racists didn't like it. Mansions up in Greenwood at plumbing for the whites did. Better school and better churches, whites are truly spiked this. Greenwood even had its hospitals to cure its vices. Their average income exceeded today's minimum wages. They had the highest rate ever, $1 circulation. 6 families owned private planes, Stafford at a hotel. Liquidity was popping, the economy was percolating. Some of Greenwood's residents worked in the white districts despite friction with human rights or fiction. And littered with white restrictions, bitter, inconsiderate white Christians that loved their clan like the fucking type to hyper-lynching. Dick Rowland was working one day and had to take a piss. The only black bathroom was up the avenue a bit. Some said that Rowland ran into an elevator and tripped. Reached out, grabbed a hold of this white girl before he slipped. The white girl fucking screamed and played the scene like she's assaulted. Rowland ran off, now the cops wanna resolve it. They brought him to the station to question his involvement. And while outside the station, the spectacle is evolving. Clan members gathered outside with a mix of racist whites talking shit, throwing fits. The man that lynched the man tonight. The sheriff held them off, hundreds, schooled to thousands. Racists from other states poured in, pursuing outcomes.
The evening being a pleasant one, my little girl had not retired but was watching the people from the window. Occasionally she would call to me, "Mother, look at the cars full of people." I would reply, "Baby, do not disturb me when I read." Finally she said, "Mother, I see men with guns." Then I ran to the window and looked out. There, I saw many people gathered in little squads, talking excitedly. Going downstairs to the street, I was told of the threatened lynching and that some of our group were going to give added protection to the boy. I am told that this little bunch of black men marched up to the jail where there were already over 500 white men gathered, and that this number would soon swell to over 1,000. Someone fired a stray shot, and to use the expression of General Grant, all hell broke loose.
If history we had a photo album, you could say this picture's folded. Cats from Greenwood heard the news, then grabbed their guns and started rolling. Hit the jailhouse, saw the mob, you best believe some words are spoken. They were only there for one purpose though, protected Roland. The crowds clash, time for resolution is now past. What happens next don't add up unless you're into that foul math. A black man was shot in the back while walking away. A cowardly act by some fuck, now the talking's decayed. A gunfight ensued as cats retreated back to Greenwood. Shots exchanged, popped through brains, the way to paint the scene good. Now in come them white folk with the white robes, no priesthood, just hatred for black coat. When the vision's blurred, you don't see good. Town officials deputized guys with racist ties and told them to ride into Greenwood, then leave no one left inside. Klansmen cut telephone lines, started blocking roads and railroads. By now you get the sense this ain't about the guy the jail holds. 5,000 racists with torches and guns. The heads that had the chance to run were the only fortunate ones. They ran up in the city, started shooting, torching for fun. They burned out every building, every business under the sun. Strategically they moved block to block, destroying scenery. High-powered weapons using World War I machinery. Private planes took flight and started dropping bombs on rooftops. Bodies dragged by pickup trucks with ropes, they pulled right through blocks. They backed up trucks to homes, shot through locks and started robbing them. Shotties popped, bodies dropped, no cloths were placed on top of them. They loaded up pianos, stole clothes and stole the furniture. And no one intervened cause the Klan were the sole determiners. It's sickening and never disgusting, plus they got no fucking justice. When things died down, they were rounded up and blamed for it all by judges. Detained in the town's convention center, more like detention center. A place to face detention, set up and try to comprehend what led up to this atrocity. Looters with animosity, sifting through the ruins like they were moving on a shopping spree. National Guard stepped in and started moving looters off properties. Martial laws were declared and then they shut the shit down properly. Now who the fuck could condone this? 4,000 people left homeless, 1,200 homes were destroyed and left to rot with no homeowners. Over 300 dead was estimated, another 1,000 tucked in camps. Greenwood was decimated, Klansmen were fucking amps.
The airplanes continued to watch over the fleeing people like great birds of prey watching for a victim. Although we were over 13 miles from Tulsa, we could, at about 10 p.m., see the smoke rising from the ruins. The next morning, we were informed that Greenwood had been burned. It was then that I shed my first tears. A truck arrived for us about 9 o'clock, and we started for Tulsa. We did not enter through our section, but we were brought through the white section. Can you imagine the humiliation of coming in like that, with many doors thrown open, watching you pass? Some with pity, and others with smiles.
Fucked up, right? No, it's even more fucked up. No one got arrested, not a single white aggressor, not a looter, not a shooter, not a single black oppressor. No one told that white bitch up the block, put back that dresser. They just went and bought their business like this whole shit wasn't messed up. Police collected bodies, had them piled up on trucks. They took them out the grave sites, put them in crates and sealed them up. Some tossed in incinerators, others brought the mining pits. Every single move they made insinuated griminess. Red Cross stepped in to assist with the situation. Victims in burn cases, some faced with the need of amputation. They set up in a school and continued examinations. Officials gave them these colored ribbons to hand to their patients. Soon as they got out of infirmaries, they gave them ID cards like Nazi Germany and housed them all together like fraternities. Wounds would show outside, but the pain was felt internally. Never to reside, fire burning for eternity. Greenwood was later deemed a fire zone. Officials tweaked rebuilding specs and made a mess of the entire code. With the funding, that one stuck them with quite the conundrum. So when they couldn't pay, Tulsa sold the land from under them. Insurance claims were filed, but all of them were denied. Courts deemed that Greenwood caused the chaos from inside. Insurance companies had them a clause. If there's a riot after court determinations on pause, they could deny it. Other states offered aid, but Tulsa, they just denied it. If outsiders saw the truth, then how the fuck could they hide it? Genocide over pride, where this hatred resided. So many died for this vibe that these fakers provided. This is our hidden history. This is the shit they hide from us. They shape the narrative, and every chance they get, they lie to us. America, so much hatred and murder is tied to us. Manipulation converted to policy for dividing us. White folk with their privilege, wicked treatment of minorities. The things they done is sickening, it goes deeper than authorities. Deeper than the prejudice that cripples us historically. Deeper than the evidence they cover up so horribly. I'm just scoping for the day you finally see the light, and we stop voting in elitists with the hope they lead us right. But that one's doubtful, so I know we gotta plead the plight. The future's on us, time is now, we gotta be the fight.
The black business community is extraordinarily prosperous. As a matter of fact, possibly the best minds in black America had migrated to North Tulsa in the late teens and early 20s. They built a commercial and business establishment so prosperous that it rivaled any place in the world.